Hello, down to 8 teams in the FCS playoffs. 3 of those still standing from the Missouri Valley Football Conference as we hit the quarterfinal round coming up this weekend. The University of South Dakota has been one of the great stories in really in FCS this year. They turned it around from a season ago, and it's really been remarkable what the Coyotes have been able to do.
Yeah, it has. I mean, you go from 3 wins to now 10 wins and maybe counting, depending on how this thing goes this weekend. But no matter how you shake it at this point, South Dakota has had a tremendous season, one of the best in program history without question. And, there's a lot of credit that you need to spread around for something like that. And obviously Bob Nielsen deserves his fair share. He's the coach of the year in the Valley and very likely to be a top candidate for the national coach of the year. But the way those players stuck it out and stuck together in a day and age where it's so easy to transfer and move on and find somewhere else, they just rallied around each other instead, and that's been a big part of their success.
Go from 3 to 10 has got to be one of the all-time.
Yes.
I don't know if
that's a big swing.
It's happened in the FCS before, but South Dakota beat Sacramento State in the second round, 34-24 to get the Coyote win. North Dakota State will be the opponent. NDSU went to Montana State, blocked an extra point in overtime to win 35-34. So USD will host NDSU on Saturday afternoon, 1:30 Central Time, national TV. It's on ABC. And the Yotes beat the Bison in Fargo during the regular season. This game has everything that you would want. Can USD do it again?
Can they? Yeah. Yeah, they can. I mean, they've already shown that they can do it with what happened back on September 30th. The thing is, September 30th was an awful long time ago. NDSU is playing some really good football, certainly peaking at the right time. And you have to give the credit to the Bison there. They had a rough patch in their season where they lost to all 3 Dakota schools, but Matt Edson company got them back on track, and they're playing some of their best ball right now as they head on the road into the playoffs. But you want to talk about a contrast here. NDSU making its 14th straight appearance in the FCS quarterfinals. USD is there for the first time ever. Does that experience play into what Saturday results? That very well could be.
Coyote defense has been really good. NDSU's been piling up points, but USD against Sacramento State, one of those big sky teams that can score, gave up 24 and still won. We talked about this last time we were here. Mm-hmm. If the Yotes give up 20 points, can they win? Obviously they can.
And I thought that going in. I thought their defense could do enough, and then I thought their offense would supplement that, and that's exactly what happened. But this is a different animal. Let's be honest with NDSU and a lot of ball control. There won't be a lot of possessions if these teams are able to play the way they both want to play in this game. USD ran 38 plays in Fargo. That's it, 38 plays, and still won the game by 5 points. So, we'll see if it plays out that same way. They got a couple of big turnovers in that game that certainly helped their case, and that's always a big momentum swinger, especially in the postseason.
It's going to be such a great matchup. All right, the winner of that USD-NDSU game will get the winner of Furman at Montana. Montana rolled Delaware 49-19 last weekend. Furman beat Chattanooga 24-21. Most likely the end of the line in this one for Furman. Montana is another team like NDSU that's rolling right now.
Yeah, and another team that didn't play so well early in the season and then found it and made a nice change at quarterback, and then suddenly look what happened. I mean, they look like a juggernaut themselves in Washington Grizzly Stadium, having been there a few times myself, knowing what that atmosphere is like. Good luck to Furman in this one.
Yeah, Montana's the 2 seed, Furman's the 7, but all the numbers favor Montana
strongly
in that game. If Montana wins that, they would host the winner of USD and NDSU in the semifinals. That Montana game is Friday night, by the way, so the Coyotes and the Bison kind of know what could be in store for them in the next round when they play on Saturday.
Yeah, and that doesn't hurt anything. And honestly, for FCS football, it's great. You've got national TV on both Friday and Saturday. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend in the playoffs.
Other side of the bracket, top seed South Dakota State rolling as well. The Jacks with a shutout win over Mercer last Saturday. SDSU will play Villanova in the next round. Nova with a win over Valley member Youngstown State, 45-28. A team that SDSU beat 34-0 in the regular season. If you're into comparing scores, Villanova can put up some points as well. They have a quarterback, Connor Watkins, who has 30 total touchdowns on the season, 10 of those on the ground. They've got some great wide receivers, Jalen Sanchez and Rajon Pringle. Pringle's got 8 touchdown catches this year. The Cats have 3 running backs who have at least 6 touchdowns on the season. But again, we've run into this all year. Big numbers, but can they do it against the SDSU defense?
That's the ultimate question, and I think there are very few teams that could. And I don't know that Villanova is one of them. I mean, I will say when you look at Villanova, rather, they're about as 50 of 50 split offensively as you can hope to have. I mean, they run the football really well, and they stop the run pretty well. Yeah. But how'd that work out for Mercer last week? Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know how much it is about the SDSU offense in this game, as prolific as it is. Cracking that Jacks defense is what seems like the toughest task, especially on the road in Data J. Dykehouse Stadium.
Yeah, SDSU's been hitting their numbers as far as scoring. They're 35 to 40 points a game, even here in the playoffs, and giving up just over 10 points a game, coming off of shutouts, and we'll see what happens with Villanova and SDSU. But Villanova's only FCS loss this year is to Albany. Albany and Nova both 7-1 in the Coastal Athletic Conference this year. Albany alive as well. The Great Danes will play Idaho, another great matchup. This game is the late game on Saturday night. Albany rolled over Richmond last week. Idaho pulled one out against Southern Illinois 20-17 to eliminate the Salukis, but I don't know, maybe Albany with a slight edge even on the road in this game.
There could be, and I was surprised to see Idaho have as much trouble with Southern Illinois as they did. Now, granted, the Salukis were much better defensively this year, and really toward the tail end of the season had played their best football on that side of the football, and it showed Saturday some execution things, or what kept them from moving on. They would have had to go to Albany had they won that game. So, Idaho being at home, they seem to play well there. They get a great crowd, great response. Jason Eck will always have a couple of things to dial up, that nobody will see coming. And, I still do like Idaho, and I part of me just wants to see the South Dakota State-Idaho matchup in the semifinals. But I do think overall, you consider the whole body of work, I still like what Idaho does against the Big Sky all season long versus Albany, and a slight edge maybe just because they're at home.
All right, we know there will be one Valley team in the semifinals for sure, either South Dakota or North Dakota State. South Dakota State top seed could get there as well, so we could have, again, two of the semifinalists from the Valley, which, no shock.
It's the best conference in the country for a reason.
Bias. We're biased, but we love the Valley.
Is it bias? It's true.
I don't know.
It's true.
It's not bias if it's true.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you out there. Have a great quarterfinal weekend.